After the 370Z was in production for a billion years, Nissan finally got round to replacing it. This is the new Nissan Z, and I must say, it's an absolute beauty. Moving on from the old 370Z, the Nissan Z gets an all-new 3-litre twin-turbo V6, producing 400 brake horsepower and 350 pounds-feet of torque. This is the same engine used in the exquisitely looking but flawed Infiniti Q60. In comparison to the 370Z's 3.7-litre V6, the new twin-turbo V6 produces 68 more horsepower and 105 pounds-feet more in torque than the outgoing engine. That's an increase of about 30%. This engine is much more modern compared to the old V6, and let's hope that it sounds better as well. The Nissan Z takes many different design cues from past Zs. Although this car still looks a bit like the 370, that shape was taken from the iconic 240Z, which is probably my favourite throughout the entire range of past Zs. However, this car has a rear-like design taken from the old 300ZX. And from what I can see, the rear diffuser seems to be straight from a 350 or 370Z. The front at first I wasn't very keen on, but it is straight up iconic 240, with the grille and headlights sharing similar shapes. All in all, I think the design looks great, however I can't wait to see what the aftermarket can do to it. Although the coupe market seems to be dying a very slow death, the Nissan Z has two main competitors, the Porsche Cayman and the Mark V Toyota Supra. These cars all produce similar power to one another, but best of all, the Nissan seems to be the most affordable. The Nissan Z starts at around $40,000, which is the same price as what a 350Z would have cost. It's great to see car companies bringing new versions and improving these cars while keeping the price exactly the same. Very few car manufacturers can do that. Now, if I had to choose between this or a Mark V Supra, honestly it would be a very hard decision to make. If you directly compare the Mark V Supra to the Z is cheaper and it has more power. Looks wise, I personally prefer the Supra. However, the only thing I will have against the Supra is that you can't get it with a manual gearbox. Whereas with the Z, you can, as well as a 9-speed automatic. But come on, if you're buying a nice sports car, it has to be a manual, because one day you're not going to be able to get one anymore. Now let's move on to the elephant in the room. And it was very hard to find anything wrong with the Nissan Z. For me, the interior is great. The manual gearbox option is awesome. The car looks great, the engine sounds brilliant, but after giving it a lot of thought, I realised this car has one massive flaw. We are not getting it in Europe. It's a heartbreaking realisation, knowing that we won't be getting the new Z. Although it's sold a bit better in the US, it's a little disappointing that we're missing out on this car. There's a few reasons for it though. The first reason being money. Because people in Europe would rather drive small SUVs, because they're all idiots, than a proper sports car, the market just isn't there. And I also believe it could be down to Nissan's current position in Europe. They're not making enough money, and they're apparently planning to pull out of Europe altogether by 2030. And there's also all these new emissions rules which prevented it from coming to the European Union in the first place. For some reason the EU are loving electric cars right now, which is really annoying because I think the whole banning of internal combustion engines could create a few issues down the line, and it could leave a few countries stranded and leaving a very bitter taste in their mouths. However, cars are pretty much fucked these days, so can't get too upset. But hopefully, even if Nissan decides to bring the Z over with a smaller engine, or even make a hybrid version, I'd love to see that. But hey, at least we got the Duke. In conclusion, I am beyond impressed with what Nissan has to offer. I don't think I or anyone else was expecting to have a new Z anytime soon, especially in the form that we got it in. To be honest, I was personally expecting some sort of electric SUV looking thing like a Ford Mustang Mach-E. But, as I said just there, we got exactly what we asked for, and I respect Nissan for taking that plunge. It is a big gamble, because a lot of people who ask for a car like the Z will probably never buy one. And that brings me on to my next point. Do I think this car will work? I think the first few years of it are extremely crucial. But the car will seriously need to remain updated and relevant in this market. This is an area where I think the GTR and the 370Z failed at. Nissan has kept updating the car every now and then, and they were in production for far too long. Considering how popular GTR is, it shouldn't have been an R35 spec for over 10 years. It just shouldn't have. And I think as a result, the GTR has lost a lot of its credibility that it created when it first came onto the market. If Nissan can keep this car updated, relevant, and change a new model every 5 years or so, we could be on to a real winner. And hopefully in the meantime the car could come to Europe, but we can only dream. Hopefully we can get this car eventually, but I honestly doubt it. We will. We'll probably just get something else. So, would I rather this or a Supra? I have no choice. I have to get a Supra. But maybe Toyota can just grow up and make a manual version of it. Come on, guys. So what do you think? Do you like the new Z? You excited to see it come on? Would you have it over a Supra? Let me know in the comments below. Please leave a like and remember to subscribe. Anyways, hope to see you all very soon.
No.